benzo doro badaraga mandu shaya wakeda samadhan jana shasana doro samudu jura bada zawat guru benzo doro badara mandu shaya wakeda samadhan jana shasana doro samudu jura so the wall, Guru Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Shazada Dada Samada Jara Bada so the wall, Guru Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara Bada so the wall. Guru Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara Bada so the wall. Guru Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara Bada so the wall. Guru Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara so the wall. Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara so the wall. Guru Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara so the wall. Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara so the wall. Guru Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara Bada Zawai Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara so the wall. Guru Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara so the wall. Guru Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara so the wall. Guru Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara so the wall. Benza Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara Bada Zawat Garam Darum Bandada Gomanda Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Badara Gomanda Wakada Samadhan Jana Shazana Dada Samada Jara Bada Zawat Dada Badara Gomanda Jaya Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samudra Jarama Sodu Garam Benzada Baduruga Manjaya Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samudra Jarama Sodu Garam Benzada Baduruga Manjaya Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samudra Jarama Sodu Garam Benzada Baduruga Manjaya Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samudra Guru Benzadara Badara Gomezero Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Gomezero Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Gomezero Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Manjaya Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Gomezero Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Gomezero Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Gomezero Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Manjaya Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Gomezero Jana Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Gomezero Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Manjaya Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Manjaya Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Manjaya Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Manjaya Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Gomezero Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samudra Jara Bada Sozudu Guru Benzadara Badara Mandala Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samenda Shara Bada Zawaz Guru Benza Dara Badar Mandala Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samenda Shara Bada Zawaz Guru Benza Dara Badar Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samena Shara Bada Zawaz Guru Benza Dara Bada Raga Menzi Shara Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samena Shara Guru Benza Dara Bada Raga Menzi Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samena Shara Shazadan Dara Samoda Sharam Sawazuduhu Gurun Bendan Daram Bandar Mazuyo Wakada Samadan Janajas Dara Samoda Sharam Bandar Sawazuduhu Gurun Bendan Banduraga Manzishya Wakada Samadan Shazanan Dara Samoda Sharam Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Bada Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Bada Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Bada Zawazadu Guru Benza Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Bada Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Bada Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Bada Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Bada Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Bada Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Bada Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Jana Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Bada Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Wakeda Samadhi Shasana Dara Samadhi Jana Bada Zawazadu Guru Benza Dara Badara Menza Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samana Shara Bada Zawazadya Om Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Shara Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Sham Zawazadya Om Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Shara Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Om Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Zawazadya Om Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Zawazadya Om Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Bada Zawazadya Garam Benda Dara Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Zawazadya Garam Benda Bada Ragamanda Vakira Samadhi Shazana Dara Samada Shara Zawazadya Om Garam Bandan Daram Bandar Mandaja Vakeda Samade Jana Shasana Dada Samada Shara Bada Zawa Om Garam Bandan Dara Bada Raga Mandaja Vakeda Samade Jana Shasana Dada Samada Shara Bada Zawa Mandashaya Vagada Samanda Sasananda Samoda Sham Sodadawa Om Garam Badara Vagada Samada Sasananda Samada Sham Sodadawa Om Garam Badara Badara Mandashaya Vagada Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samana Jaraba Sodadawa Om Garam Badara Badara Mandashaya Vagada Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samana Jaraba Sodadawa Om Garam Badara Badara Mandashaya Vagada Samada Jana Shasana Samuda Sharambanda Sozadawa Guru Benza Dada Badara Gomenda Yero Vagada Samuda Shasana Dada Samana Sharambanda Sozadawa Garam Benza Bandura Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Bada Sawazadawa Om Garam Benda Dara Bandura Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Jaya Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Bada Sawazadawa Garam Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Bada Sawazadawa Garam Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Bada Sawazadawa Garam Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Bada Sawazadawa Garam Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Bada Sawazadawa Om Garam Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Sawazadawa Om Garam Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Sawazadawa Om Garam Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Sawazadawa Om Garam Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Sawazadawa Om Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Sawazadawa Om Garam Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Vakeda Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Sawazadawa Garam Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Sawazadawa Garam Benza Dara Badara Gamanda Jaya Vakeda Samada Jana Shasana Dara Samada Jaya Sawazadawa
Blessing for the tea. Just reading the names of the sponsors for the teaching. and praying for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and all the other upholders of the Dharma, the masters, to live long. And for the Dharma to flourish. And for the welfare of all sentient beings.
Hong Dong Qi Dang Yan Dong Gong Lang Song La Soba Nang Ji Che De La Soba Nang Ji Ce Da Na Nang Ge Che Den Yi Den Zhe Wang Di De Zi Su Jia Xie Ba Ji La Go Jia Ji Gu Be Pra Ce Da Dan Ba La Su Be Ma Ji Jia Zhen Na Ge Che Den Yi Den Zhe Wang La Su Jia Xie Ba Ji Go Sang Du Ji Ge Be Pra Ce Da Dan Ba Xin Be Da Bo Yang Zang Nang Ba La Soba Nang Ji Che De Di Ce Si Gen Ji Go Ji Zhe Dang Ba Dang Jie Da Dan De Go Nga Jia Nga Jie Jie Ki Be Pra Ce Da Dan Ba Ben Ba Zi Ri Zha Xi Qiang Zang Din Zai Yang Zhe La Din Zai Zi La Soba Nang Ji Che De Di Ce Si Xie Ba Ti Jie La Go Yang An Zhe Ji Dong Ji Ki Be Pra La Do Ce Da Na Ge Zong Qi Ji Nong La Soba Nang Ji Che De Di Ce Si Su Jia Xie Ba Ti Jie La Go Jin Zhe Ji Dong Ji Ki Be Pra Ce Da Dan Ba Qiu Nong Nu Bu La Song Nong Nang Ji Che De Song Qi De Sang Dang Zhi Bi Zhi Zhi Su Ti Su Jia Xie Ba Ti Ji La Zhu Zhi Ji Dong Ji Ki Be Pra La Do Gong Mi Ba Ce Da Xiang Jiu De Ce Lian De Ba Ra Qi Yan Hong Fei San La Soba Nang Ji Su Jia Ma Ji Zhen Nang Ji Zhe Ge Mi San Zhi Ba Dang Di Ce Si Su Jia Ti Ji La Go Ji Dong Ji Ki Be Pra xiang jiu de ce dang dan ba xin qin xiong fan san la yan la so ba nang ji che de la so be che de si jia zhe nang ji che song jiu de su jia ti ji la go ji dong ji ge be per la zo xiang jiu de ce lian dan ba si mo zhen yang dang pa ye de mo la so nang zha xi la so ba nang ji che de di ce se gen ji ji che de go ni zhe ba ni tong ba ji ge be per la ce xiang jiu de ce lian de ba ce le ta xia la su ba nang ji chen de nang ji che de ce da dan ba ang ang sang dan ma yang ce li den zhu zha xi la ma nang ji zhen zhe zhe ce da dan ma nang ji zhen ge zhen de zhen zhe ba di ce si gen ji lian gong bang ji ji ge be per ce da dan ba me ji qian bei la su ba ma ji jian zhe le nang ji che de yi sang dang zhi bi che de dian ju xian de go jin zhe ji ge be per ce da dan ba ben yin qiong ba nan la so ba nang ji zhe nang ji che de di zhe song jiu xie la ti ji la go ngang zhe ji ge be per go sang ro ge sha ji de zhe ge la so ma ji jian de nang ji zhe de gong mi de zhe nang ji che de 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 zhe bi zhe bi jiang ji zhe zhe qian qian qian
Heart Sutra, recitation of Heart Sutra. So this is the Dharmaraja praise. Praise to Dharmaraja. One verse prayer to His Holiness. Which says, you made the teaching of the Buddha very clear. The teaching of compassion, the combined teaching of compassion and emptiness. And again, the mantra, name mantra of our His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Om A Guru Vajradhara Bhattaraka Manjushri Vagindra Sumati Gyana Shasanadara Samudra Shri Bhadra Savasidi Hum. Om A Guru Vajradhara Bhattaraka Manjushri Vagindra Sumati Gyana Shasanadara Samudra Shri Bhadra Savasidi Hum. Guru Benzadara Padaraka Manjushri Vagindra Sumati Gyanashasanadara Samudara Shri Bhadra Savasidi Praise to Aryatara, you who liberates beings from samsara, and so forth. And then the 21 praise of Tara now being recited. Prayer to the 21 Taras. Om, homage to the Venerable Arya Tara. Homage, Tara, swift, heroic, whose eyes are like the instant flash of lightning. You who arise from the opening stimens of the lotus face of the Lord of the three worlds, Avalokiteshvara. Homage to you whose face is like 100 autumn moons, completely full and gathered into one, radiating a great and distinguished light, superior to the gathering of 1,000 stars. Homage to you whose hands are beautifully decorated with a golden blue water-borne lotus, who in essence is giving perseverance, asceticism, serenity, patience, and meditation, the very objects of all practices. Homage to the Ushnisha of all the Tathagatas, who reigns in perfect victory over the infinite evils, object of great devotion for the sons of for the children of victorious ones, who have achieved all the paramitas, perfections without exception. Homage to you with the letters Tuttare Hum fill the world of desire, direction, and space. By your feet pressing over 7 worlds, you draw them all without exception by your power. Homage to you, worshipped by the gods Indra, Agni, Brahma, and Ishvara, who is praised by hosts of spirits, corpse races, Gandharvas, and Yakshas. Homage to you who, by the power of the mantras, thread and pet, destroy completely all the magical wheels, crushing them with your right leg bent and left leg stretched, burning them completely in a whirl of blazing fire. Homage to Ture, the swift one, the great fierce one who destroys the hero of the demons, whose lotus face, forming wrathful wrinkles, kills all the enemies without exception. Homage to you whose chest is perfectly adorned with your fingers showing the gesture symbolic of the triple gem, the gathered light proceeding from your hands decorated with the wheels strikes all directions. Homage to you whose crown of joy and splendor spreads a garland of light around, and who, by the great laughter of Tuttare, overpowers all the worlds and demons. Homage to you, endowed with the power of drawing the assembly of the guardians of the worlds, the one with the hum of wrathful moving wrinkles, rescues completely from all miseries. Homage to you whose head is crowned with a moon crescent, whose ornaments are brilliantly radiate, all brilliantly radiate. From Amitabha, among the tresses of your hair, a supreme light constantly beams. Homage to you who sits in the center of the blazing circle like the fire at the end of this eon. By your right leg stretched and left leg bent, you destroy all forces hostile to the one who wishes to completely turn the wheel of Dharma. Homage to you who strikes the surface of the ground with the palm of your hand and beats it with your foot. By the hum of the look of wrathful wrinkle, you shatter all 7 worlds. Homage to you, the joyous, virtuous, and peaceful one, the very object of serenity going beyond sorrow, who, being perfectly endowed with Swaha and Om, naturally destroys the great sins. Homage to you who fully crushes the body of the enemy, of the one who completely desires the supreme turning of the wheel of Dharma. To you who rescues by the seed Hung centered in the 10-syllable mantra. Homage to Ture, the swift one, the very seed in the form of Hung. The stamping of your feet shakes the mountains Meru, Mandara, Vindhya, and the 3 worlds. Homage to you who holds in your hands the form of the celestial lake, the moon which has the sign of a peaceful animal hair. By recitation of Tare twice and the syllable Pet, you clear all poisons without exception. Homage to you whose lotus feet are attended by the Lord of the multitude of gods, who is attended by the Devas and Kinnaras. By the splendor of your joyful armor, you clear all quarrels and bad dreams. Homage to you whose eyes of full moon and sun radiate a supreme illuminating light. By recitation of the Hara twice and Tutare, you clear away all violent plagues. Homage to you, who by establishing the three ultimates, Ahum, is perfectly endowed with the power of peace, who is the very supreme Ture, the swift one, destroying the host of spirits, yakshas, and raised corpses. With that, this praise to the root mantra of the 21 salutations are completed. So that's the praise to 21 Tara, which is being recited now. Ayatara mantra, hum tare tutare ture swaha.
Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da. Oh, da 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 da.
By praising and praying to you, may our suffering, sicknesses, and so forth be dispelled. And so today, mainly, Gyuto Monastery requested for the Chakrasamvara Empowerment, and therefore I'm doing this empowerment of the Chakrasamvara, and today is the preliminary process of this initiation. So the Buddha, in accordance with the mental dispositions of his disciples or sentient beings, on a general level, he gave the teaching on the Four Noble Truths. And then, when the disciples, for the disciples of sharp intelligence or faculty, he gave the teaching on the perfection of wisdom. And then he taught later the Tantric teachings, the secret mantrayana teachings. So the difference between these is, of course we say, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, as if the Buddha or the three jewels are out there separate from us. That is how we practice generally with regard to the practice of taking refuge. But in the Tantra, you are not seeking Buddhahood from outside, but from within yourself. And so, of course, for the attainment of three Buddha bodies, there are the external factors who could help us, but the main thing is to attain the Buddhahood from within your own self. And so, in this prayer, the verses for taking Bodhisattva vows, we say, in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, the Supreme Assembly, I take refuge until I'm enlightened. And so the Buddhahood must be sought from within yourself, not from outside as such. So, of course, with regard to the sensory perceptions, we don't talk about the Buddha nature and so forth, but mainly it has to do with the mental consciousness. So after the dissolution of what are known as the 80 conceptions, the 33 of the luminous appearance, 40 of the luminous increase, and then the 7 of near attainment. So the main thing that goes all the way to the Buddhahood, the state of Buddhahood, is the innate clear light mind, the luminous mind. And so in Tantra, what we mainly do is use this innate clear light mind for that to transform into path, and with the help of that to attain the illusory body, which in turn helps the purification of the innate mind. And therefore, you must understand how one should attain Buddhahood from within yourself. And so, in order to attain that, we need to stop the activities of the adventitious states of mind and make the innate clear light mind manifest within ourselves. And so, in an ordinary person, during our death, what happens is we go through the process of dissolution, and finally we're left with this clear light mind of death state. And so through the highest yoga tantra, in highest yoga tantra, we are using the techniques of the teaching to turn or to take this innate mind into the path, to transform it into the path by manifesting within ourselves, making manifest within ourselves this clear light mind, by whereby all the coarser levels of mind subside, and so that you are left with only the subtle clear light mind, the innate mind. And so, from amongst in the tantras, there is mention of the subtle, the subtlest wind energy and mind. So these two, in the case of an ordinary person, after the death, we go through the bartho, the intermediate state. Whereas for a yogi, experienced yogi, instead of the bartho, the intermediate state, as such, they are able to use that innate clear light mind, make that manifest within themselves as a path, and then that helps to attain that of the illusory body. And so these two, the subtlest wind and mind energies, are used to attain the path and the resultant state. And so in this Guhya Samaja Tantra, which is a Fada Tantra, the emphasis is on attaining the illusory body, whereas in the Mother Tantra, like the Chakrasamvara, the emphasis is given on the attainment of the clear light mind. And so at the time of death, because of our karma, we go through the process of dissolution, and then the innate clear light mind also becomes manifest. So when you go through the process of dissolution, you reach the point of near attainment, the blackish near attainment. At that point, you should be able to remind yourself of this clear light nature of the mind itself. And so as you go through the process of the dissolution, you reach that of the luminous appearance, and then the luminous increase, and then the luminous near attainment. So the mind becomes subtler and subtler as you go through this process. So in the case of practice of Tantra, this innate, spontaneous, clear light mind is transformed into or taken into the path. And then in the Guhya Samaja Tantra, from that clear light mind, you arise into illusory body. That is the emphasis of the Tantra itself. And in the case of the Mother Tantra, like Chakrasamvara, this clear light mind, you should be able to transform it into the path of clear light. So as the coarser levels of mind dissolve, we will not be able to have the thoughts that we have usually, like now. Those thoughts and the mental processes stop. And so when you are in the going through this process of dissolution, you should be able to, you should try your best to meditate on emptiness as your mind dissolves into the subtle levels. You should be able to continue with that meditation on emptiness, and when you reach the point of what are known as the four empty states, and so these can also help in further strengthening your understanding of emptiness. And therefore, in Tantra, you are not looking for Buddhahood from outside, but this clear, innate, clear light mind, this luminous awareness is turned into the path level, the Dharmakaya, and from there, when you arise from there in the form of some body, you arise in the form of illusory body. And that illusory body goes, back into this the old body that you have, and that in that way you turn it into the illusory body. So here we are talking about attaining or actualizing the clear light and the clear light path of clear light, and also illusory body, based on this innate subtlest mind and wind energy. And so with the help of these tantric techniques, you make this the clear light mind manifest and attain, thereby realize emptiness. And with the help of this clear light mind that turns into that path, you attain the illusory body. And we have cases of people where people stay in meditation, in meditative state, at the point of clinical death. Perhaps at that point the person are able to turn their clear light mind into the path of clear light, and therefore arise in the form of deities. So we have such cases where people stay in Tugdam meditative state even after clinical death. So the coarser levels of mind dissolve, and this innate clear light mind or luminous mind becomes manifest. The more you are able to experience that, the better you may be able to stay in Tugdam at the time of clinical death. So we are talking about attaining Buddhahood, but you are not doing it seeking that Buddhahood from outside, but by using this your own innate clear light mind. And so if you meet with the qualified master and you also become a qualified practitioner, so I'm not able to remember what to say, but I'm not sure about the 3-year, 3-month, 3 weeks retreat. But what you need to do is to do meditation until you are able to gain the realizations of the clear light path and the illusory body. And therefore, with regard to the illusory body, it is emphasized in the Gyudmey Tantra, and then the clear light mind is emphasized in the Mother Tantras. And so in the Yamantaka practice, for example, also we have the combined practice of wrathful and peaceful mantras of the deities. And so in Gyudmey Tantra, you through Gyudmey practice, you try to attain the illusory body, and then through Chakrasamvara, thereof the clear light mind. And so in this way, through the practice of combined wrathful and peaceful and wrathful practices, you are able to get rid of the to gain your wisdom, develop your wisdom further. And so it is said that through this combined peaceful and wrathful practice of Yamantaka, Manjushri, and your wisdom or intelligence will develop like fire. And so I have the experience that it is really the case that through this practice, you are able to develop your wisdom further. And so the Yamantaka serves as the preliminary practice for the other two. And then in the Gyudmey Tantra, you try to go to practice you do your practice in order to go through the dissolution process of the elements, and then as a strengthening factor you have the Heruka Chakrasamvara practice. So in this way you combine the three, Yamantaka, Gyudmey and Chakrasamvara. So I have received the He Vajra Tantra teachings from Gyobgye Rinpoche, Gyobgye Chijen Rinpoche. So the three Buddha bodies should be sought not from outside but from within yourself by using this clear light mind within us and the wind energy within ourselves and turning them into the path. So Gyudmey emphasizes illusory body, and then the Heruka or the clear light mind, and then the Yamantaka mainly the emphasizes on the development of our intelligence and wisdom through the peaceful and wrathful practice combined. And so I have done this meditation on this, the combined peaceful and wrathful practices of Yamantaka from my young age. And then I do the Gyudmey and also Chakrasamvara or Heruka, and particularly the body mandala practice of the Gandhapa tradition, and then also Luipa tradition of Chakrasamvara, I do practice, and then also on top of that, He Vajra Tantra. And so through these practices, I do my daily meditation sessions. So of course, when we talk about the integration of the three, Samaja, Yamantaka and Chakrasamvara, it has to mainly do with the completion stage practice. And in the case of the Heruka Tantra, you do the practice of the four joys and the four empty states. And then in the Yamantaka, the combined peaceful and wrathful mantras. So we'll have a Mandala offering in request. So, in the text for the preliminary process of initiation, it begins with dispelling obstacles, purifying non-virtues and stains, and then generating the right motivation and confronting the internal empowerment, making a request and fostering firm conviction in Tantra, taking the vows and receiving the blessings, throwing the tooth stick, and giving out handfuls of water, a protection string, and kusha grass, and generating joy in the disciples by explaining the Dharma and giving instructions for the analysis of dreams. So there are these 6 basic outlines. So this is dispelling obstacles. So one at the lamp. So uttering the power of truth, of the any interfering beings are asked to leave this place and not to hinder this process of the preliminary part of the initiation. So obstacles are driven away. So visualize beneath your feet a wind mandala. At your navel burns the fire of inner heat, tumo, and at your heart is a black syllable bum. So imagine these wind mandala beneath your feet, at your soul, the sole of your feet, and fire of tumo burning at your navel, and then bum at your heart, at which all your non-virtues come together. Unable to bear the fiery rays of an inner heat, your non-virtues then exit through your nose and turn into a black scorpion that dissolves into the black sesame seeds in front of the Lama. With the Kanda Rohi mantra, they are purified, and with the Om Shunyata mantra, they dissolve into emptiness. And from the sphere of emptiness arises syllable Ram. From the Ram arises blazing fire from primal wisdom, inside of which is the syllable Hum. And from the Hum arises a Vajra that is marked with the syllable Hum. And from the Hum that marks the Vajra arises Vajra Dakar. His body is black in color, has one face and two hands, and holds a Vajra and bell crossed at his heart. And then the mantra was recited. So that purifies your stains, purifying non-virtues and purifying your stains. And next is the mandala offering. To request the preliminary process of the Heruka Luipa Tradition Empowerment from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, we make this offering. Vajrabhumya, the foundation is quite pure and vast. The ground is gold, Vajra, Rekha. The boundary is a ring of iron mountain encircling the syllable Hum. Here is the Sumeru, king of the mountains. In the center, in the east, Pura Videha. In the south, Jambudvipa. In the west, Apara the Godayana. And in the north, Uttarakuru. To the east, Deha and Videha. To the south, Chamara and Aparachamara. To the west, Shata and Uttaramantrina. To the north, Gaurav and Gaurav. Here are the jewel mountains, the wishing tree, the bountiful cow, the spontaneous harvest, the precious wheel, the precious jewel, precious queen, precious minister, precious elephant, the precious, marvelous precious horse, the precious general, and the vase of great wealth. Here's the lady of charm, here's the lady of garland, the lady of song, the lady of dance, the lady of flowers, the lady of incense, the lady of lamps, and the lady of perfume. Here are the sun and the moon. Here are the jeweled canopy and the banner of universal victory. In the center is all the bountiful wealth of gods and humans. All these pleasing offerings, pure, perfect, and complete, we offer to you, the gracious root teacher, together with all the glorious and sacred teachers of the lineage. And in particular, we offer these pure realms to you, complete master of the doctrine, refuge and protector, Lord of the conquerors, omniscient and all-seeing one, glorious and noble Lord, that unparalleled in the three worlds, that from your lips we may receive the profound empowerment of Heruka Chakrasamvara for the benefit of all sentient beings. Please accept it with your compassion for the sake of all beings, and accepting it, grant your blessings, we pray. The ground is purified with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned by Sumeru, the king of mountains, the four continents, the sun and the moon. Visualizing it as a blessed Buddha field, we offer it to you. May all beings enjoy the happiness and of the perfectly pure Buddha fields. Venerable sublime teachers in the sky of Dharmakaya, gather clouds of your wisdom and compassion, and on the fields of beings to be trained in accordance with their needs, shower down the rain of profound and extensive teachings. So, the monks of Gyuto and Gyudmey Tantric colleges, and also many of you from the monastic centers of learning, so you have said the long life prayer. So I'm not just someone holding the the title of Dalai Lama as an empty word. This is from the chapter 6 of Chandrakirti's Madhyamaka Avatara. So, as this verse says, so thus illuminated by the rays of the wisdom light and so forth. Verse 224. So I'm hoping to reach that kind of true cessation. And then verse 225 says, though his mind may rest continuously in cessation, he also generates compassion for beings bereft of protection and so forth. And then the last verse 226 says, and like a king of swans soaring ahead of other accomplished swans and so forth. So today the Gyuto and Gyudmey Tantric colleges are also offering long life prayer ceremony to me, holding that. And so, as there is a saying, in the sky there are the sun and the moon, and on the earth the Gyuto and Gyudmey Tantric colleges. So today we are doing the empowerment or initiation of Chakrasamvara, in which we have the Luipa, the Krishna Charya, and then Gandapatha traditions. So these three traditions. I do the Gandapatha tradition of the body mandala practice of Chakrasamvara. But today the initiation that we are doing is from this comes from the Mahasiddha Luipa tradition. So as I said before, I do practice, as I said earlier, the two principles of bodhicitta and the view of emptiness, and I can claim to have some experience of them as well. And so now, please imagine me as Heruka and repeat this. Some enter into the mandala seeking to achieve secret mantra for the sake of this life. Others wish for merit, and still others seek what is beyond the world, this world. The intelligent should enter the mandala with many acts of faith that seek the aim of what transcends this world. They should not wish for effects in this life. The one wishing for the effects in this life do not find meaning in that which transcends the world. The one seeking what transcends the world gains extensive results in this life. So this is making the disciples to generate the right motivation. And so the Lama, in the form of Heruka, of the Luipa tradition, and so with that, the next is the conferring the internal initiation. Rays of light radiate from the syllable hum at the heart of the Lama, who is inseparable from the principal deity and in union with the consort Vara Vajravarahi, and draw you into the mouth, his mouth. You descend through his body and his Vajra and melt into the womb of his consort and arise as blue Heruka with one face and two arms. And so these should be done with fervent faith. And if you are doing this kind of tantric practice of visualizing yourself as deity and so forth, you should be able to imagine this, to go through this process. Again, rays of light emanate from the home at the heart of the Lama, inviting all the Buddhas who enter his mouth. And at his heart they melt by the fire of passion into bodhicitta, which then flows through the Lama's Vajra and bestows the internal initiation on you in the womb of the concert. You emerge from the womb and take your seat at the eastern gate. Please repeat these. O great joy, you are my teacher and master. Please pay attention to me. O great protector, I am seeking the firm ways of great enlightenment. Please bestow on me the pledges. Please confer me the vows of bodhicitta, and please grant me the threefold refuge of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. O protector, please let me enter into the supreme city of great liberation. This is repeated 3 times. Please say, O great joy, you are my teacher, master, please pay attention to me. O great protector, I am seeking this firm way of great enlightenment. Please bestow on me pledges. Please confer me the bodhicitta vows. And please grant me the threefold refuge of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. O protector, please let me enter into the supreme city of great liberation. And so with this, having taken refuge, the main practice is bodhicitta, where, in the case of which we say, in order to fulfill the interests of myself and others, may I generate this spirit of awakening. So, for one's own, to fulfillment of one's own goals, and for to help others, and also for temporary as well as the long-term goals, and also for developing the spiritual qualities, higher and higher qualities within yourself. Bodhicitta is the factor for which enables us to achieve them. So we are the request, O great joy, and so forth, and ending with, O protector, please let me enter into the supreme city of great liberation. So that request for the initiation is done, and next is the Lama fostering conviction in Tantra within the disciples. And so here the Lama calls on the disciples as, come here, my child, which is an expression of closeness. My child and so feel that closeness when you are called. Come here, my child, I will thoroughly teach you the right of conduct for the sacred mantra of the universal vehicle. You are a vessel of great way. Through the power of the Vajra mantra, the Buddhas of the 3 times who are endowed with the adamant body, speech, and mind have precisely attained the peerless exalted wisdom. With the unequaled yoga of secret mantra, the supreme ones like the lion of Shakyas and others overcame the dreadful and powerful hosts of evils. Realizing that the world would follow him, he turned the wheel of Dharma and passed into Nirvana. So in order to attain omniscience, O child, exert your intelligence. So the main factors for our enlightenment are the Dharma jewel that we would be able to develop within ourselves, and then with that to become a Sangha jewel, and then the final enlightenment of Buddhahood. Please repeat these. Until I'm enlightened, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. I generate the spirit of enlightenment. I fully attain to fully attain my own and others' welfare. Having generated the spirit of supreme enlightenment, I invite sentient beings as my guests. Engage in the supreme and wonderful conduct of the Bodhisattvas. May I attain Buddhahood to benefit all wandering beings. So I take refuge in the 3 jewels, individually disclose all my non-virtues, the joys and the virtues of all beings, and mentally take up the enlightenment of a Buddha. And then the rest of the verses. So there are people who may be earnest to receive this initiation, but are unable to be present here physically. For example, from Tibet and China and other places. So there are people in China, Tibet, China proper, and Japan, and also quite a number of people from Vietnam. But Thailand and Sri Lanka, they are not following that Sanskrit Buddhist tradition, and therefore there is difference between their tradition and ours. But we are all followers of the same teacher, and we have faith in the Buddha. I take refuge in the, please repeat, in the three jewels, individually disclose all my non-virtues, rejoice in the virtues of all beings, and mentally take up the enlightenment of Buddha. Until I am enlightened, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. I generate spirit of enlightenment to fully attain my own and others' welfare. Having generated the spirit of supreme enlightenment, I invite all beings as my guests, engage in the supreme and wonderful conduct of Bodhisattvas, and may I attain Buddhahood to benefit all sentient beings. So, by saying this last line, of course, we need to practice on a daily basis bodhicitta, and as a basis for that, the view of an emptiness. And so I too practice these two principles and use Bodhisattva Charyavatara, where it says, without exchanging one's own joy and welfare with the suffering of others, leave alone reaching Buddhahood. Even in samsara, you will not have happiness. And then it says, which intelligent person would feel discouraged to ride the horse of bodhicitta, which leads one from blissful state to blissful state and does away with all despair. And so, as the master, I, the Dalai Lama, also make these two, bodhicitta and the view of emptiness, as my main practice on a daily basis. And therefore, as my disciples, you should make these two your main practice daily, your daily practice. We have not yet taken the Bodhisattva, the Tantric vows. So we have taken the Bodhisattva vows. O child, you should abide by these progressively higher vows as a course for liberation, and there is no other means than this. Please repeat. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay attention. From now on until I reach the essence of enlightenment, I, say your name, shall in the same way as the protectors of the three times generate the unsurpassed excellent spirit of enlightenment that is set on the enlightened state. I shall firmly observe the three kinds of ethical disciplines, keep restraint, accumulate virtues, and work for the welfare of beings. From now on, I will take the vows of the unequal three jewels, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, that derive from the yoga of Buddha, Vairochanam. I shall perfectly keep the Vajra, belt and mudra of the great Supreme Vajra family, and uphold the Vajra master. As to the wonderful Samaya of the great and Supreme Ratna family, I shall engage in the four kinds of giving 6 times a day, and so forth. So you are going to repeat this for the second time. And for the remarkable and pure lotus family that has risen from the great enlightenment, I shall guard the outer and inner teachings, the three vehicles and their respective dharmas. For the great and supreme karma family, I shall perfectly adhere to all the vows and make offerings as best. I shall cultivate the excellent and unsurpassed spirit of enlightenment and completely abide by the vows for the benefit of all sentient beings. Beings who are not yet rescued, I will save. Beings who are not yet freed, I will release. I shall give relief to the ones who are unable to breathe and lead sentient beings to the state beyond pain. So at the end of the third repetition, imagine that you have received a pure set of the Tantric vows. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay attention to me from now on until I reach the essence of enlightenment. I say your name, shall in the same way as the protectors of the 3 times generate the unsurpassed excellent spirit of enlightenment that is set on the enlightened state. I shall firmly observe the 3 kinds of ethical disciplines to keep restrained from the unethical behaviors, accumulate virtuous dharma, and work for the welfare of sentient beings. And then the vows of Vairocana, the vows of Akshobhya, the vows of Ratnasambhava, the vows of the Amitabha, and then Amogha Siddhi, this Karma family, and so forth. And then I shall cultivate the excellent unsurpassed spirit of enlightenment and completely abide by the vows for the benefit of all sentient beings. Beings who are not yet rescued, I will save. Beings who are not yet freed, I will release. Beings who are not I shall give relief to the ones who are unable to breathe, and lead sentient beings to the state beyond pain. So that finishes. With that, we finish the taking the vows, and next is blessing. Receiving the blessings, the Lama protects you with the action mantra. You should visualize that at your heart is a blue Vajra, 5-pronged Vajra, the center of which is marked with the black Hum syllable, and at your throat a red petal, 8-petaled lotus, marked with this R syllable, red in color, and at your crown, on a white 8-spoked wheel, in the center of which is Om, white in color. While holding a Vajra, the Lama applies with his right hand a drop of scented water in the ascending order, first to your heart, and then to your throat, and then to your crown, reciting Om, Hung Ah Om. With this, you receive the blessings. And then, from now on, all the offerings will not be tarnished by the faults of samsara, and thus you shall forever receive them. And Lama offers flowers to your head, lamps, and incense in front of you. So imagine the Lama is offering you a garland of flowers, and then to your nose, the incense, and to your eyes, lamp, and to your heart, perfume. So while reciting the respective mantras for these offerings, the Lama makes these offerings to you. Next is throwing the toothstick. So the abbot and the deputy abbot of Gyudmey, the Gyuto and Gyudmey, the abbots of Gyuto and Gyudmey Tantric colleges are called
Om Bezar Hasaha.
So repeat this Om Bezar Hasaha. So the Supreme Siddhi.
Om Bezar Hasaha.
The first one was Gyudmey Abbot, and the second was Gyuto Abbot. Next, giving a handful of blessed water.
So
the Lama recites the action mantra and gives you 3 handfuls of sand, this blessed water that has arisen from the syllable bum, and recites this mantra Om Shri Vishuddha Sarva Dharma Sarva Papam Nitsa Saya Shodaya Sarva Bhi Vikalpana Apanaya Hum. So drink the water and think that all your faults of body, speech and mind and all your conceptions have been removed. And so next is giving out the protection string, the protection cord or string. Next is giving the kusha grass in order to have a clear, unconfused dream. Is the mantra. So the longer kusha should be put under your mattress with the tip towards your head, and then the shorter one should be put under your pillow. And next is generating joy by explaining the Dharma. Like an Udamvara flower, the omniscient ones appear only occasionally in the world, and at times they do not appear, but the arising of the ways of sacred mantra is even much rarer than that. Through it, the unequaled welfare of sentient beings can be accomplished without passing away. If even non-virtue created before over tens of millions of eons are entirely removed immediately upon seeing such a mandala, what need is there to speak of dwelling in the practice of endlessly renowned ways of Tantra through the recitation of the protective sacred mantras, that one will achieve the unsurpassable state. Those with a steadfast insight in this supreme practice will overcome the lower realms that give rise to all suffering. Today, you great beings have attained an unparalleled achievement, so all of you will be upheld in this teaching by the conquerors and their children. And the bodhisattvas, the great beings as well, you will arise. In this state, you will take excellence in the great universal vehicle. By proceeding on this great vehicle's glorious and supreme path, your self-risen beings of great fortune will become Tathagatas, who know all the worlds. And so, next is giving the transmission of the mantra, Om Kenda Rui Hum Hum Pe. Om Kenda Rui Hum. Note this mantra, Om Kenda Rui Hum Hum Pe. Om Kenda Rui Hum Hum Pe. You need to recite this as you go to sleep. So with this, we are done with the preliminary process of the Heruka empowerment of the Luipa tradition. Next is Mandala, Thanksgiving Mandala offering. Not different in nature from the great Vajradhara, the conqueror Vajradhara. The master, sovereign over the entire teaching of the Buddha, the Lord of the conquerors, whose name is Jembe Losan Yishi Tenzin Gyatso, the glorious one, to have received this preliminary process of the initiation of Luipa Tradition Chakrasamvara. We make this mandala offering in thanksgiving. Om Vajrabhumi Aud, the great and vast foundation, the ground is gold. Om Vajrarekhyao, the boundary is a ring of iron mountains encircling the celestial home. Here is Sumeru, king of mountains, in the center. In the east, Purva Videha. In the south, Jambudvipa. In the west, Apara Godaniya. In the north, Uttarakuru. In the east, Deha and Videha. To the south, Chamara and Apara Chamara. To the west, Shatta and Uttara Mantrina. To the north, Kurav and Gaurav. Here is the jewel mountain, the wishing tree, the bountiful cow, and the spontaneous harvest, the precious wheel, the precious jewel, the precious queen, the precious minister, precious elephant, the marvelous and precious horse, the precious general, and the vase of great wealth. Here is the lady of charm, the lady of garland, the lady of song, the lady of dance, the lady of flowers, the lady of incense, the lady of lamps, the lady of perfume. Here is the sun and the moon. Here are the jeweled canopy and the banner of universal victory. In the center is all bountiful wealth of gods and humans. All these pleasing offerings, pure, perfect, and complete, we offer to you, gracious root, teacher, root, together with all the glorious and sacred teachers of the lineage. In particular, we offer the pure Ram to you, complete master of the doctrine, refuge and protector, Lord of the conquerors, omniscient and all-seeing one, glorious and noble Lord Jambel Ngawan Losan Yishitinzin Gyatso, in gratitude for having excellently received from your lips this profound Heruka Chakrasamvara, preliminary process of initiation of Chakrasamvara. Accept it with your compassion for the sake of all the beings, and accepting it, grant your blessing, we pray. In the land encircled by the fence of snow-capped mountains, you are the source of all good and excellences. And happiness. Lord Chandrazik in person, Tenzin Gyatso, Lord Chandrazik, Avalokiteshvara in person. May you live until the end of samsara. Idam Guru Ratna Mandal Kam Niyataya Mi. Heruka Bededal Hinchi Karchesho, Amo Zema Tamzik, Zema Tam Teju Soya Chodo, Demba Didagin, Amo Nam Taja Jesu Jimbe, Gyuto, Simjin Quinge, Tungi, Chitani, Simjin Tamje, Heruki, Koponchola, Deva Jose Zamia, Geseki, Navde, Nenum, Deva This is the long prayer, aspirational prayer of Chakrasamvara. These are verses of auspiciousness of Chakrasamvara.
Gada Gada Daja Mada Jada Bada Daja Labia Danja Mada Bawa Daya Danja Danja Yaya Gombe Danga Daja Daja Daba Danga Daja Tabia Baja Mada Jaba Gamba Jada Danja Mada Jada Jada Yaya Gaja Yawa Jada Nyabera Maza Daza Mabaza Dana Jawa Gaza Lajo Debe Ramba Zambe Nada Gaja Naza Samalanda Nyada Naja Waja Jaya Daja Jada Shanda Nyam Chaja Danda Nyam Naya Meda Danda Naja Tanda Dala Tameda Dala Naja Sashi Bawa Naja Mada Gaja Yawa Meba
Mime toji shiwe tamba.
Yawa yodo dodo rajan, sawa goja dodo sayada, sarawa dodo jawat, lewa badan dara kabado, doje jaba bado rebejan, zalun dara bado nabab, gaya bado najagada, dada nado nazo lama, gada janya jaba dajade, mada jaba lama janat, Dhamma Jaga Zabada Shala Jamba Gola Daja Dhamma Java Java Daj Deja Java Yara Gabada Daya Jaja Daja Bama Jada Dada Java Lajana Daga Nyamba Jaga Daja Chaja Dada Yamajan Chaja Gola Daja Damba Yasa Daja Gola Damba Leja Daya Daja Jaja Nejamaja Daja 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 Wada Daja Zananda Jaza Dada Daya Jaja Bada Gola Damba Jana Gada Janya Jaba Daja Shala Chaja Jaba Jaba Chaja Mada Chaga Zawado Bada Baja Jaba Daja Nana Doja Nyamagawa Doja Jaba Dazayana Dhamma Jada Sana Doja 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 Wanja Doja Daja Daja Gaja Madonna Gawa Mata Bime Dawana Gada Janya Jaba Dagat Chaja Ponga Janja Jala Dashanya Daga Daja Shojana Madara Zonda Kandala Mata Jama Bime Zalanga Bezada Daza Jajana Zalana Zaya Mata Zamajaga Dada Dababaya Dada Shaja Danda Shara Lonja Yada Mala Jaja Daja Yada Mazaba Dazanga Jaja Daga Sanjana Mala Gada Janya Jaba Daya Jaja Daga Daja Wada Kadamana Java Java Jaza Bayanga Danyawa Dasha Dambara Daja Nana Jabaya Bawa Waja Bama Waja Kala Jabel Bawa Yana Gada Janya Jabel Daga Jajana Bela Gada Bada Dada Janga Jaga Jazo Panya Dada Nada Daba Daya Gada Baya Daja
This is the prayer of the words of truth. The prayer of true words. You whose glory is an ocean of immeasurable qualities, and who look upon beings as if they were your only child, Sagathas of the past, present, future, Bodhisattvas and your disciples, pray heed these lamentations of the truth. May the entire teaching of the Buddha, which dispelled all the torments of existence and peace, spread to benefit the whole world, whole wide world with health and happiness. May those who hold them, scholars and practitioners, flourish in their practice of the 10 activities of the Dharma. Utterly oppressed by the intolerable intensity of their negative actions, deprived beings and are tortured by interminable suffering, pacify their unbearable disease and wars and famines, and bring them the succor of infinite joy and well-being. In particular, the people of Tibet, inheritors of the Dharma, are being destroyed by the many evils of a barbarian horde, malevolent and heartless. In the river of blood and tears, arouse the force of compassion that their torment may swiftly be stopped. Here's an announcement. Sorry, couldn't hear that.
学校用了实际了，咱们地方的那个桥上排呢，这个那么这两个为因素。